Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to discuss a very important topic that is called binomial theorem, or sometimes we call it the binomial expansion. So in your final exam for A2 level you will get 4 to 5 marks questions from here, and most of the time that binomial theorem questions will be you know uh, joined with your partial fraction questions. So both questions will be a little bit longer to solve, but is very easy because it is just for one formula you need to know for solving the binomial theorem. So in your AS level, when you have learned in your paper 1, you have learned binomial theorem, and that general formula you have already learned. This one was a plus b to the power n, and the expansion was a to the power n plus nc1 a to the power n minus 1 b1 plus nc2 a to the power n minus 2 b2, right? And then you can go for ncr a to the power n minus r b to the power r. So this general formula you have already learned in your AS level P1 maths. All right. So, but this formula, look at this one. This a plus b to the power n, this formula is only valid when your n, that means the power, is positive. What does it mean? So the positive means n equals to 1, 2, 3, or like 10, 12, or something like that. This formula only valid for n equals to positive value. Now, if we have n is negative, now in your P3 or your A2 level, we are going to learn the binomial expansion if n is negative. Okay, if your n is negative or n is less than 1 or less than 1. So what is that? Like your n value, n equals to minus 1, minus 2, 1 by 2, 0.5, this type of situation. If your n value is like this, then you cannot apply the formula whatever you have learned in your AS level. So in this case, our general formula will be different. So in this case, when your n value is negative or less than 1, then we have our general formula will be 1 plus x, the binomial expansion will be 1 plus x to the power n, and that will be 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 divided by factorial 2, and then it will be x square plus n into n minus 1 n minus 2 divided by factorial 3 x cube, and this will continue. All right. So this is the general formula. This is the, we can write, this is your general formula for binomial expansion when n equals to negative or less than 1. So this is very important. Okay, so this part, the new general formula, whatever we learned now for n equals to negative or less than 1, that is the syllabus for your A2 level exam. So now, very importantly, have a look. So this one, the first term here, This 1 is the first term. Okay, I can write the formula once again. So we have 1 plus x to the power n equals to 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 by factorial 2 x square plus n into n minus 1 n minus 2 by factorial 3 x cube. Now look at this first term. In this case, our first term here is 1 always, okay? First term must be 1. So this is our first term. This is our second term. This one is the third term, okay? So in the third term, you can see x squared. Third term. And this is our fourth term. So what I'm trying to say is, in this expansion, first term always 1, and then second term will be the x. So the power of x will be 1 in the second term, and in the third term the power of x will be x squared. So if you go 1 by 1 more term, your power of x will be on powerless. That means in your third term, your power of x will be x squared, not x cube, okay? Remember this one. Another important part here is factorial 2, factorial 3, factorial 4. Like this value. What is the factorial? This factorial 2, factorial 3 in the denominator. So what is this one? So factorial 2 or factorial means, the factorial value means, we normally write it like, okay, let's see, we have factorial 2. So we write 2 and then we put a exclamatory sign here. This means actually 2 into 1. Factorial 3. This means 3 times 2 times 1. So factorial means the factorial of a number is the number and then consecutively lower value of that number you multiply. So factorial 3 means you have 3 and then the next number is 2, then the next number is 1, you just multiply. I mean, next number means the lower number of that number. So if we have factorial 5, what you can write? This is actually 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So this result is 2, this is 6, and this will be 20, 60, 120. Now the question is, how to solve this factorial easily? In your calculator, every calculator, you can see this mark. I mean, I can show you. You can see the calculator here. Okay, so every calculator, look at this calculator. So in this calculator, okay, every calculator, you can see there is a mark here. That is the factorial mark. So here you can see the factorial mark in this red circle, that X and then an exclamatory sign. Most of the calculator you have to press shift and then this sign, okay, to get the direct factorial result. I will show you a short video clip later. I will put it in the description box how to calculate with the factorial, all the calculation of factorial in your calculator. So that will make, that will be very easy to solve the problem. Now let's move on. So whenever you have binomial expansion, the binomial expansion for your P3, that means the general formula I told you for n equals to -1, you must maintain this, format. So you keep it this note that for this binomial, please remember this one, okay? The first number inside the bracket must be 1, and then you have the x function. So the first number must be 1. What does it mean? I mean, this one actually support this formula only, this formula only support 1 plus x to the power n format. So if something is not in this format, you have to write it in 1 plus x format. So let's see, for example, let's see, it is given that you have something 2x minus 1 to the power minus 1, and the question told that you have to do the binomial expansion. So you cannot do this one. You have to write it in a proper format. After that you can do that. So what you have to do, you have to change this format to minus 1 plus 2x to the power minus 1. So you must write 1 first in your within the bracket. So first term must be 1 and then it should be the x term. Otherwise you cannot solve it. Okay, so let's do some examples so you will be more clear on this. So example, first example here, expand first 4 terms of 1 by 1 plus 2x. All right. So 1 by 1 plus 2x, what does it mean? So 1 by 1 plus 2x is actually 1 plus 2x to the power minus 1. Right? So look at this one. Whenever you have this type of situation, the first term is 1. And the second term is the x term. It can be 2x, 3x, x square, anything. But the second term must be some x. And the first term is just simply it will be 1. So your binomial, I mean the binomial expansion within in the correct situation, so we can apply the formula. So if we apply the formula, what we can write here is the binomial expansion formula is 1 plus nx, and our n is minus 1. So we can write minus 1 into x, 2x. Here x means 2x plus n into n minus 1 divided by factorial 2 and 2x square. Write everything in the position of x, whatever you can see, okay? So 2x square plus n is minus 1, n minus 1, n minus 2, all right? And then you have factorial 3, and that will be 2x cube. Understood? What we are doing? We are just simply following the formula expansion. 1 plus nx, so n is minus 1, and everything whatever in the x position you write it. So here we have 2x, we will write 2x. Okay, so this way we will expand the series. Now the first part is done, and now you just simplify this. So here if we simplify this one, we can write 1 minus 2x plus this will be plus 2 minus 1, I mean minus 2 minus, so that will be 2, and factorial 2 means 2. Factorial 2 means 2. So 2x whole square, that will be 4x square, right? Plus we have, in this situation we can write 2 and 1 3, 1 and 1 2, so 6 and minus, so it will be minus 6. Factorial 3 is 6, and 2x cube will be 8x cube. All right. So if we further simplify this one, we can get 1 minus 2x, 2 and 2 cancel, we can write 4x square plus 4x square, 6 and 6 cancel, we can write minus 8x cube. So that is the first 4 terms of your binomial expansion. So this is your answer. Now we can solve another example. Okay, we can solve another example. So example 2. Example 2. Expand first 3 terms of root over 1 minus 2x. Okay, so root over 1 minus 2x, we can write root over 1 minus 2x is actually 1 minus 2x to the power 1 by 2. Every time you need to bring the power, okay, and that power is your n value. So here what we can write here is 1 minus 2x to the power half, or further, because our format is 1 plus x, so we can write 1 plus minus 2x to the power half, right? Because our, what is the formula? I mean, what is the our binomial expansion series is the format is 1 plus x to the power n. Okay, so every time we will write whatever we have in this format. The first one is 1, then we put plus, and everything of x we will write it in the position of x. All right, so from here we can expand this one now. So we have 1 plus minus 2x to the power half. We can write here 1 plus nx, so n is half, x is minus 2x, 1 plus nx, okay, plus n half n minus 1, that means half minus 1 by factorial 2, and then we have x square, that is minus 2x whole square. So this is the first 3 terms. You do not need to expand more. Just simplify now. 1, so 2 and 2 will be cancelled out, so it will be 1 minus x. Okay, and then we will have half minus 1 is minus half and half, so that will be 1 by 4, and then you have factorial 2, so that is 2, so it will come like minus 1 by 8, minus 1 by 8, and here you will get 4x square. Okay, so finally it will be 1 minus x minus 1 by 2 x square. So that is the answer for the first 3 terms. Okay, so this is the actually binomial theorem, but now we will move a little bit advanced part. So in case of advanced technique, what can be the maximum difficulty level? That is, I mean, normally it gives to your exam paper. So the maximum difficulty level will be like this. So if you have 3 plus x, okay, let's see, you have the question, another example. Expand 3 plus x to the power minus 1. Okay, so 3 plus x to the power minus 1, you have to expand in, in 4 terms. Let's see, it's 4 terms. So look at this one carefully. The first term is not 1. This is 3. So we have to make it 1. What we do, we will take 3 common outside, and then we can write 1 plus x by 3 inside and whole to the power minus 1. Okay, so this term, inside term, this is our binomial expansion in correct format. So finally we can write it like 3 to the power minus 1. So from here we can write 3 1 plus x by 3 whole to the power minus 1. It means 3 to the power minus 1 into 1 plus x by 3 to the power minus 1. Okay? So we can write 3 to the power minus 1 is nothing but 1 by 3. And then rest of the part we can expand. 1 plus nx minus 1, x means x by 3, plus n into n minus 1, that is minus 1, n into n minus 1 by factorial 2, and x square. So x by 3 whole square. Okay. Similarly, we can write plus n minus 1, n minus 2 by factorial 3 x cube, that means x by 3 whole cube. So if we now simplify, our binomial expansion is finished already. Put the bracket here. So we can write 1 by 3. Here we have 1 minus x by 3. Then this one will be, the top one will be plus, this is 2. So we can write 2 by factorial 2, that is also 2. So 2 by 2 into 1 by 9 x square, x by 3 x square by 9. Then we have plus, we can write 2 and 1, 3 and 2, 6. So minus 6. Minus 6 divided by 6. Factorial 3 means 6. And then you will have x cube by 27. And if you further simplify, your result will be 1 by 3. 1 minus x by 3. And then 2 and 2 cancel. So we can write plus 1 by 9 x square. And then we will have minus 6 and 6 cancel, 1 by 27 x cube. So that's it. So this would be your maximum difficulty level, that sometimes the question is not in a correct format. So you have to change it to the correct format, and you need to bring it in the bracket, that 1 plus x condition. Okay? One more problem to make you more understand about this one. So let's see, you have expand. Okay, this is example. Expand x minus 5 to the power minus 2. Can we do it? No. In this condition, of course, we cannot do it. Because look at within the bracket, it is x minus 5. But we need to keep our format 1 plus x to the power n. So this is not matching, okay? The format is not matching. So what to do? Change it. Bring the 5 in front. So we can write this one as minus 5 plus x to the power minus 2. But still, the 1 is not there. It is minus 5. So we need to bring 1, okay? So from here, we can write, take minus 5 outside common. We can write 1 plus, this will be minus now because we take minus 5 outside. So this will be 1 minus x by 5. And then the whole thing would be power of negative 2. Okay? And then we can write this one as minus 5 to the power minus 2, minus 5 to the power minus 2. And then we have 1 minus x by 5 to the power minus 2. So you know what to do now. Minus 5 to the power minus 2, it means, this means we can write minus 1 by 5 square. And then within the bracket we have 1 minus x by 5 to the power minus 2. So here simply we can write minus 1 by 25. And now you can simplify this one. 1 plus nx, so plus n is minus 2 and your x is now minus x by 5, right? 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1, so that is minus 2 into minus 2 minus 1 divided by factorial 2 into minus x by 5 square. Okay, so similarly you can follow this thing. So what we can write here is minus 1 by 25, and here we can write on, this will be plus 2 by 5x, and then you will have here is, if you calculate 2 minus 1 is minus 3, and minus 2, that is plus 6 by 2, plus 6 by 2 would be 3. So here you will have plus 3, and 5 square will give you 25, and minus x square, so that will be x square. So this will be your final answer for this case. Alright, so what's the major thing from here? Binomial expansion for your P3, your A2 level, is the general formula is for just 1 plus n, 1 plus x to the power n, and n equals to minus 1, minus 2, 0.5 or 1 by 2, like these things. That means it should be negative or less than 1. And then your expansion, you must maintain this format inside the bracket. Then only you can expand the binomial expansion correctly. I hope you understood this one, and in next video we will do some real-time past year problems. Thank you for watching.